They've been the dynamic duo for years, and last season was no exception, as Joel Hetrick and Chad Wienen took the battle for the AMA Pro ATV Motocross Championship down to the final round. Hetrick pulled off a clutch moto victory in the first race, putting himself in position to win the title in race 2. After another classic duel early, Hetrick chose wisely rather than fight for the race win, letting Wienen and fellow Yamaha man Thomas Brown go through. Brown, often the odd man out in this battle, went for the win, but came up short against Wienen, who would take the moto victory, but fall short of the championship. Joel Hetrick is now a 2-time ATV motocross champ, and he's not planning on giving that #1 plate up anytime soon. Can Wienen and Brown fight back in 2020? The new season is about to get underway, with Joel Hetrick looking to build a championship legacy. From legendary Daytona International Speedway, it's what has now become the traditional opener of the AMA Pro Racing ATV National Motocross Championship, the Daytona ATV Supercross. A unique event, as anything positioned inside the World Center of Racing would entail. The riders have really come to appreciate it. This is a Supercross track built on the infield, totally different than the natural terrain we'd have in most of the races in this series. As for the season in 2020, we've got a lot of young talent coming up and a lot of established stars, and we're seeing if any of the youngsters can begin to make a challenge of the likes of Chad Wienen and your defending champion, Joel Hetrick, who have been the stalwarts in this series for a long time. So who is going to step up in 2020 and get there? Maybe the 28 of Jeffrey Rastrelli. He's been knocking on the door for race wins and points for a long time. Maybe it's the year he makes the move. That 110, Josh Merritt, new young kid moving up. Troy Hill and Bryce Ford also looking to make names for themselves this season. But to do it, they're going to have to go through the man with the #1. And Joel Hetrick has been star-crossed at Daytona before, but wants big things in 2020.
What's up, guys? We're here at Daytona for round 1 of the ATV Motocross Series. Daytona is always a unique event, and this year we have it even more different for us. We're doing a carousel start, which is really cool, and I'm excited for that. Coming off of a really big win for me with the Des Nations, the Quad Cross of Nations, and then the 2019 championship. It's my second championship, and I'm ready to defend it again. Hopefully, just stay consistent, stay on the podium, and it'd be really cool to go back-to-back, of course, but that's too far ahead to think about that right now. We're just going to go race by race and, have fun, and we got a little goal set for the team and myself especially. We got a little whiteboard in there, and I'm just going to, click off what I need to click off and not worry about the big picture just yet, and have fun doing it, because that's what it's all about. I got a lot of family here, a lot of friends watching, and we're just ready to go out there and mix it up with everyone and, come out of here healthy and safe.
Hetrick won this title a few years ago, but didn't get the 2 in a row. With some bad luck, Chad Wienen got the 2018 title, then handed it back in 2019.
All right, making it here to Daytona. Prior to this, we had an event that I had scheduled on the calendar. We headed to Argentina for the Enduro del Verano. We got word that they had to change the date on the event to a week later, so it put us about a week turnaround to this event, and I feel like I'm ready. Machine's ready, and I felt good in Argentina, getting a podium spot, winning on Saturday, getting second on Sunday, and I feel like I had things that I had to work on, and I addressed them this past week, and that's just a fun race. I really enjoy that event down there, and here we are focusing on Daytona, our first round of the year, 2020, and back with the 44, and we're just going to try and get out of here 100% safe and get ourselves a good spot on the podium, and challenge for the win, of course, but safety's 100%, and I'm just gonna do what I can to get out of here and see if I can get a win under the belt on the podium. So Yamaha's running great. Pumped with the program this year. We made a couple changes, and we're gonna pour it on this year.
Okay, little bench racing before they get ready to go really racing. We'll have the riders meeting and some practice highlights and give you an idea what it looks like here at Daytona when we return. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMX and by CST Tires. Locking the riders into the starting gates for the first heat race. This is the Daytona ATV Supercross, so it's a little different. The field will be split into two different heats, and that'll lead them into the main event. Heat 1, we have the helmet cam with Jeff Rastrelli. Hard sideways, let's go racing. Rastrelli bumping and banging with Wienen into the first turn. Now the rider goes wide and plows right through the hay bales. But that carousel start we've talked about pays off for Rastrelli. He just hung inside. Battle for the lead is on. Oh, and he came up short on that jump. Young Brandon Hogue able to take the lead here. That's what you want to see. The young talent moving toward the front this season. And Wienen with all that bumping in the first turn is back to fourth. So Hogue, let's see what he can do against the established players. Rocky Mountain ATVMX helmet cam here on Nick Janusa. Making his way through the rhythm lane over the tabletops. A couple of rollers. And that's a wall jump to slow them down. Looks like he's in fourth, right behind Wienen, who has moved forward. But how about Brandon Hogue from Nebraska on the box Motorsports helping him out, and he's stretching it actually. The battle is developing. Wienen just powering right past Rastrelli to take over second, and then they bump. Rastrelli one wheel into Wienen, one wheel into those hay bales. And Rastrelli is fired up. He's doing everything he can to come back at Wienen. This is a great race. But just as surprising is the fact that Hogue is just putting tracks down and pulling away from them. And Rastrelli, another bobble out of that corner. That has not been his friend. Will that slow him in the rhythm lane? Enough for Janusa, the rider out of New Jersey, to get to him. Janusa's right there airing it out. Split lane, both riders take the outside then inside combination. Wienen has gotten away. He's free to try to run Hogue down. So we'll see what kind of speed your leader has. Can he keep the multi-time champion at bay? So far, so good. What a confidence builder this would be for Hogue if he could win this heat, which is pretty stacked. Rastrelli, Wienen, Janusa, they are not slouches. But Hogue, look at the perfection of the timing of those jumps. Wienen now tracking him down. Same for Janusa, who's trying to get Rastrelli, takes a look at him in midair. And I think he locked it down, man. This long rhythm, not the friend of Rastrelli in this heat race. This is Brandon Hogue's shot at glory. And he's got it. We might have a new contender come main event time against one of the old contenders, Thomas Brown.
Man, my program stayed really similar, which I'm super excited about. Training at the Ford compound in Texas, working with Bryce and Cody. So now I have two riders on the pro line with me. So it's been a busy off season. We've been putting our work in and ready to get this first gate drop under the way.
Well, we'll see the Ford Bros and Thomas Brown and Joel Hetrick in action in heat number 2 next. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMX and by CST Tires. Heat race number 2 on the line. Watch for the young kid Bryce Ford moving into the pro class this year with a lot of hype. Of course, you got your defending champ on the gate of this one, Joel Hetrick, and he'll carry our onboard. And Hetrick on the Phoenix Racing Honda flips it into the first turn. And how many times have we seen him snake but here in the infield of Daytona International Speedway. Meanwhile, Logan Stanford with the whole shot doesn't clear that big double. One of the rookies in the class this year, he drops back, and it's Alan Myers out of Tennessee. Showed some speed last year. Our Rocky Mountain ATVMX onboard. This is Bryce Ford, the much-hyped rookie we're talking about, and he's showing you what he's capable of. Already catching your leader, Myers. A good battle between two young riders, and remember, we had that upset Brandon Hogue win in the first heat, so we are really seeing young talent moving to the front in ATV Motocross this year. Thomas Brown up to third. Kind of the same job that his buddy Chad Wienen had in the first heat race, going to try to represent the veterans, try to show the kids they're not done yet. Good three-way battle. I think Brown is catching Ford and already looking at the inside line. We check back in with Hetrick, who's got got a lot of work to do, and that machine has got to be banged up. As we go back on board with Ford, through a mistake in the ruts, and he tried to hustle his way out of that corner. It wasn't enough. Thomas Brown gets by, moves into second, and now Brown going after Myers. So you got two young kids and a veteran sandwiched in between. And look at Bryce Ford. He's not giving up on it from third, wants to make the pass. And giving us a good view of this battle with Alan Myers trying to hold the lead. Good stuff here at Daytona. Big long straightaway, and they'll hook back onto that start area in a moment to come back the other direction. And Brown tries to set himself up. Dives way inside here. It's not enough to make the pass, but it puts him on the left all the way down this straight. And it does eventually end with more left-hand corners, but not able to get close enough to challenge Myers here. Ford still in the mix. Everyone almost bumps tires in that right-hand corner. Alan Myers looking for a breakthrough. Lap rider moving over for Hedrick. Or sorry, that's not lap rider. Remember, he's in the back of the pack. They're just making it a little easier. Checkered flag is out. Alan Myers does it. Troy Hill, Logan Stanfield, 4th and 5th. Hedrick only 6th. That's going to give him a terrible gate choice in the main. Myers and Brandon Hogue win the 2 heats. So this main event is going to get awfully intriguing. Can Hogue do it? Can Myers do it? Can Hedrick bounce back? What about the established riders like Weenan and Brown? Stay with us. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMX and by CST Tires. Main event time here at the Daytona ATV Supercross. Friends and foes gathering. Thomas Brown packing in his gate. Joel Hedrick congratulating Brandon Hogue on a heat race win. There's Big Chad Weenan locking in. And this first turn is a doozy. We saw crashes in the heat. Let's go racing in the main. And more chaos. Nick Janusa, Cody Ford, Jeff Rastrelli all tangled up. Hayden Mickelson, the teammate of Joel Hedrick, was in that on the Phoenix Honda. Hedrick's actually okay. Here's Rastrelli trying to get going now. Oh, and they're bumping wheels on each other again, battling for last. Well, we knew that carousel first turn would be a factor, and we saw a little carnage in all 3 starts. Taking advantage. Thomas Brown on the Yamaha, backed by CST Tires, in the lead with Weenan right behind him. Then I believe it's one of the heat race heroes, Alan Myers next. Hedrick, you see the roost he has had to take on early in this race, all because he had the bad gate pick, all because he had a first turn crash in his qualifying heat race. So it's up to the Yamaha boys to hold him off now. And Brown still likes that inside line, drifting a little bit wider. Weenan and Hedrick. So as exciting and unpredictable as those heat races were, we're seeing the same riders who are often on the podium up to the top 3 spots early here in 2020. Rastrelli with a lot of work to do after being in that 4-rider pileup at the beginning, and he's come off the machine. What has happened? I don't think he's hurt. I think his machine has broken. So his day just went from bad to worse. It's tightening up front as Weenan begins to put pressure on your leader, Thomas Brown. Where can he get him? And you see Hedrick has a line in his back pocket by going outside in that corner. And in the split lane, though, everyone chooses the same. Myers under pressure from Bryce Ford, who's the hot rookie. And both Myers and Ford look good earlier today. Let's see what they can do. Can they hang with these 3 speed-wise now that points are on the line in the championship in this main event? And you can see these 3 beginning to draw away from Myers and Ford. And what's going to give first? Whoa. Well, it almost gave way. It was the rear end of the Yamaha of Weenan. He was spinning sideways, slipping sideways, and manages to hold on to it. But what I'm wondering is Hedrick going to try to make the move on Weenan first, or is Weenan looking to make the move on Brown? Janusa, rough start to this race for him. He's coming through traffic and giving us some good footage on board. Unbelievable, you can throw a blanket over them now. I think Wienen wants to go. He's got to get around Brown because he's being held up, and Hedrick is trying to take advantage. Classic warfare between these three. You've had so many great races in the past. Don't forget that outside line that Hedrick has been using. Not here. He's got one other line on this track. And he tries it. Side by side, showing Wienen wheels. And Wienen's so big, so strong, able to get back over the back. Troy Hill out. He's got mechanical problems trying to get that Honda refired. So Wienen knows now more than ever that Hedrick is there. Can he find a way around Thomas Brown? Janusa around the outside. Split lane coming into play for him as he works his way through traffic. Janusa 13th on lap 1, now moving into the top 10. Well, Thomas Brown dealing with the pressure. Oh, finally a mistake in an opening, and there goes Wienen. Can he seal him off? Almost rolls it, trying to hang the inside, but he gets it done. Wienen to the lead. That's changed this race in a hurry. Brown and Hedrick are going to have to go big now. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMC and by CST Tires. Chad Wienen leading Thomas Brown. Joel Hedrick trying to put the pressure on from third. Nick Janusa has been providing great footage with the Rocky Mountain ATVMC on board, but now he has problems. Had a great race going. Jeff Rastrelli, we heard, had a shock problem. That's what took him out, and now something has gone wrong for Janusa, so not a good way to start the season. And how about Thomas Brown? He has lost ground to Wienen, but is maintaining it over Hedrick. Thought Hedrick would apply serious pressure. Here's that outside line that Hedrick likes to use. Maybe he can close up on Brown, but Brown has proven tough today. And the time to start using the term ageless for Chad Wienen. Won his first championship in 2012, won 5 in a row, got another one, so 6 titles, but that's dating back 8 seasons now, and he was already well established at that time. So he's been at the front of this pack for almost a dozen years now. There's Janusa walking off, bummed out. He put in so much work to come from behind. Meanwhile, Wienen doing like he does every other year. Just consistent, puts himself in position every time. We talked last year he had a mechanical problem and missed a podium in a race. It was the first time since that 2012 season he had not finished on the podium. That is ridiculous. A little further back, Wesley Wolf making the move on Hogue. Last lap now. So Wolf and Hogue having a good battle, 6th and 7th. Then you've got Bryce Ford, and just ahead of him, Hogue, pitboard out for Wienen. I don't think Hedrick has anything for Thomas Brown. Not sure. Maybe the crash in the heat and all the bad luck in the past for Hedrick. But he was right there with Wienen, and you thought when Wienen made the move, he'd try to stick with him. He wasn't able to do it today, and the Yamaha boys, former teammates, still good buddies, looking to go 1-2. Oh, Hedrick gonna show a wheel here on the last lap. He waited to the end and they tangle, and Brown goes down. Incredible. Unbelievable. I thought Hedrick was just accepting the podium today. Then all of a sudden, an attack on the last lap. That was risky for both. Got to figure Brown's not going to be happy about that. Checkered flag is out. Chad Wienen wins in Daytona. He wants the 7th straight title, and he served notice today. He's going to be tough to beat. Hedrick recovers. Look at the emotion there for Wienen to take the victory, and Myers takes the podium in 3rd after the crash for Brown. Let's talk to our podium riders.
Al Myers here at Daytona 2020. I'm just super stoked on the 3rd place this year. I can't thank my team enough. E-Racing, my mom and dad just had a blast. This race was killer. All the fans out here were awesome. Thank you for having us.
Interesting day to say the least. We had a crash. We almost had another crash in the main event. We got into it with T. Brown a little bit. It's tight racing out here at Daytona, always is, and we got hung up, and he wrecked, I about wrecked too, and it's not where we wanted to be, obviously, and we just put ourselves in that position, you know, battling that hard, and I wanted to make a pass, and he wanted to hold me off, so it's just part of racing, but you know, we're both healthy. I think he finished, and you know, I'm so pumped to be up here in the second spot. My goal for Daytona is always just come out here safe and on the podium, and I had a really big scare out there, so you know, we got a few things we're going to work on, and you know, just keep improving all year, and try to you know, just be tight with them all year, tight with the championship battle, and you know, go from there, click off motos if we can.
Had an intense battle with Thomas and Joel right in tow, and man, I just had to ride my race and wait for my time to make a move, and Thomas made a little bobble, and I was able to cut underneath him and get by him, and man, just an exciting race here at Daytona. Man, this is my 4th win here, carrying the red plate. We're gonna take it to Texas, and we got to keep the work up though. This is gonna be a tough year, and you know, I'm ready for the challenge, and you know, we got a great machine. Fitness is good. We just gotta stay healthy and keep it on the track. So we'll see you guys here at Underground here in a couple weeks.
Well, the emotions in those interviews told the story. Alan Myers just through the roof pumped. You can see how bummed Hetrick was. Big first turn crash here as we get to our CST race recap. And then obviously, Weenan very, very happy to get this victory. To do it, though, he had to go through Thomas Brown. Bummer for Brown, who ends up 8th today on a mechanical problems for riders, including Jeff Rastrelli. Later on, Nick Janusa would have his issues, too. Those were guys coming from the back. Here is the pass for the lead. Weenan gets around Brown. Brown's back to 2nd. Probably a podium finish is the worst he could hope for today. There's Janusa's mechanical problem, as mentioned. And I thought late in the race that Hetrick was just going to settle for 3rd. As he mentioned, he had problems at Daytona so many times before. When you see an opening, you got to take it. Bumped wheels with Brown. Brown goes down, short end of the stick. Great run for Weenan. Hetrick preserves 2nd. Alan Myers 3rd and Bryce Ford 4th. Brandon Hogue 5th. All 3 of those young kids showing they can mix it up with the main players. And look how pumped Myers is to finally pop the bubbly. For everyone at RacerTV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.